Hey everyone, today we are going to be listening to a mashup of some of my favorite and most influential business people that have helped me along my journey and will hopefully be able to help you. Hope you enjoy. And I think, Gary, my question is, at a core, everyone's talking about this Lego video that here's a guy who's leading the way of entrepreneurship, and yet you're talking about like $2,000 that you made on eBay for Legos. You know, what is it in your personality? There's a definition of a serial entrepreneur. You don't give a shit about how big the project is. You are completely obsessed with the idea of buying and selling and creating margins.
And I'm obsessed with the responsibility of having people be attached to the message that I'm putting out there. In a time where I'm incredibly concerned about interest rates and how much VC money there is and consumer confidence, knowing that people have all sorts of stuff in their house that's worth money, or the ability to go to a garage sale tomorrow and buy stuff that's worth money, inspires me. And whether it's closing a $25 million deal for VaynerMedia or buying something for $1 and selling it for $7 on eBay, for me, it's one and the same game. And when you have millions of people following you, tens of millions of people following you, I'm surprised by how many people don't understand you have the responsibility of providing value to them, not them giving you likes and follows. And so for me, to your point, I'll be as excited to make a video about a CNBC article about flipping Legos as I will about telling people 4 years ago that if they bet the farm on TikTok, things can work out for them, and everything in between. And while it's now 4:42 p.m. on the East Coast as we're filming this, while spending, 6 hours today with Fortune 100 companies on their macro global marketing plans. And so I have a lot of flexibility in my entrepreneurship now that I got the gray hairs, and I try to use all those skills on a daily basis.
How the heck you have so many different businesses, ventures, and interests, and maintain and grow them all at such a scalable, accelerated rate?
Yeah, so what we do is I only do businesses that support the other businesses. And I know you talk about the vertebrae, and I see it kind of like a hand. You know, if I move my thumb, it's going to move my other fingers. I can't move one without moving the other. So I don't add any businesses that don't support the other businesses. So when we do a 10X growth conference, partners are coming in, investors are coming in. I mean, we just did an event that it was profitable when we opened the doors, which is 99% of all events are negative when they open the doors. They lose money to get people there. But this event, this 3-day event, probably broke $100 million, bringing with no sponsorships, no endorsements. Okay, like it was the single biggest event I've ever done in my career, because we finally figured out, rather than have an AT&T or Sprint or Verizon sponsor and give me money to pay for the event, all my partners are there. Cardone Capital, Cardone Ventures, Cardone University, 10X Stages, 10X Ladies, like all the things we're doing basically are just integrated to support our audience in doing whatever it is they want to do.
One thing about the internet today and media and digital media is people don't realize how long it took us to be successful at what we do.
Yep.
And even though you're still much younger than I am, you started early. It's been years and years of building your experience, your skills, your knowledge, your relationships with a really strong desire. What advice would you give to any age entrepreneur of how long, or the perspective you take of how long it takes to achieve, at least part of what you're capable of doing?
I say if you do if your goal is to build a brand, a business, whatever it may be, if you do it consistently each and every single day. So for example, if you're producing videos or podcasts, you don't have to release one each day, but if you're working on it, coming up with ideas, and you're releasing stuff at least weekly, but ideally you should try to do it multiple times a week, if not daily, because it doesn't take long to put up a picture on Instagram or anything like that. And if you do it consistently for 3 years, you will be that quote unquote overnight success. But it takes 3 consistent years. And the reason being is the market's now flooded with people and even businesses. And unless people see your brand 7 times, it's hard for them to resonate and build that connection, right? In marketing, they call it the rule of 7. And nowadays, social algorithms are much tougher. 5-6 years ago, you post something on Facebook, everyone sees it. Now you post something on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, barely anyone's going to see it because they want you to spend the money on the ads. So for that reason, it takes a bit longer, but give it 3 solid years.
How do you take money and reconcile it with happiness, right? I'd love to hear your kind of philosophy
So my philosophy is this, right? You know, I've been rich and really, really happy. I've been rich and really, really miserable. I've been poor and really miserable. I have never been poor and happy. I can't be poor and happy. To me, money is a problem that must be solved. In other words, money doesn't make you happy, but if you're happy, what you can do with money is so amazing. It's not like you can, let me tell you, what happens to a lot of people, you wonder why people, even like myself, when I blew up at a very young age, right? When I made all this money and I blew up, I imploded.
I'm with you.
Lindsay Lohan, all these famous people, you see it all over the world, right?
Yep.
Famous, talented people, they implode after getting rich. Why? Because what happens is that when you emerge from adolescence, and we all emerge with our own wounds and whatever we have insecurities, right? So we have this vision of what we want our life to look and say, when I get there, when I arrive, I will be happy. So the fact that I'm not happy right now, I can handle that because I'm taking actions right now that one day will allow me to arrive at happiness. But then what happens when you actually get rich, and all of a sudden you've surpassed all your hopes and dreams for you ever thought your life could be like on a financial level, and you're like, oh shit, wait a second, I still arrived at, and I'm still me, and I still have the same insecurities and fears. The money doesn't solve that. It doesn't make you whole. So at that point, it's almost like the panic sets in, like, oh my God, I thought that if I got rich, I'd feel secure and happy and wonderful and amazing, but I still feel like the same person, just with a lot of money now. You get it?
Yeah.
So, and that's when you start to really, then the drugs start to quiet the critics and the guilt and remorse. And I think a lot of the problems that, at least in my life, were that, you know, I had some insecurities and I got I cracked the code for making money very young, but didn't quite crack the code for being a whole person. Thankfully, I was able to, I'm not saying I'm the most whole person out there, because I'm still not, because I don't think anyone's completely whole, but I think that over the years, I've learned to tame the beast inside of me, the things that drive me to actually into self-defeating activities like instant gratification, cutting any corners, versus sustainable success, giving massive value to people. So I've kind of learned that, you know, I had to re-examine my own value system, and it allowed me to emerge a much more healthy person by failing. So I learned from my own failures and realigned my values, and I've cracked the code now for what I think is sustainable success.
Thank you so much for watching this video. And if it helped you in any way, make sure that you share it with someone else to help them along their journey. See you back soon.